activists, here with the guys from Oskar Blues, brand new to the state of Minnesota, starting distribution this week. They're going to be special guests Wednesday at the Nomad World Pub for Midweek Beer Geek. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
And it's, what are your names again? Shane?
And Chris.
And Chris. And you guys work for Oskar Blues. What are your positions with the brewery?
I'm the Director of Business Development.
Great Lakes Region Manager.
Awesome. So what made you guys decide to expand to Minnesota?
A couple things. We in 2012 we opened up a new brewery in North Carolina, down in a town called Brewery, which obviously expanded our capacity pretty significantly. So we have a plan to open up several new states this year. We opened up a few last, so that was a big one. But more importantly, Minnesota is just a big craft beer state. We feel like it's a great market for us to be in. Good fit as far as there's a lot of connection between Colorado and Minnesota, so we thought it was the right time to do it.
Let me ask you a little about the decision to open a brewery in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Why North Carolina?
First and foremost is really the shipping cost, the savings that comes from that, but also just a connection to that area. Dale, our owner, who started the company back in 1997, has had a connection to those mountains and that town for many years. He's a big mountain biker, and it's one of the best places in the U.S. to mountain bike. So that was, candidly a big part of the decision.
So you go mountain biking.
yeah, but it's great water source, huge, brewing community there, very strong local beer scene. So it was a very good fit for us.
Awesome. So can you walk us through a little bit of the history about Oskar Blues? How old are you guys? Where did you guys start in Colorado?
Yeah.
Right.
Started in Lyons, Colorado, which is pretty close to Rocky Mountain National Park, and started in 1997 as a brew pub, basically. Started brewing a couple years later down in the basement of the original Oskar Blues Brewery, brew pub, and then kind of grew from there into a space that was out back, kind of like a big garage building where production started. And then in 2002, somebody came along selling a canning machine that was hand filled 2 cans at a time, and Dale bought into that, and the kind of history was made, and started canning Dale's Pale in 2002, and kind of moved along from there. Eventually outgrew that space and went into a larger space in Longmont, Colorado, which is about 20 minutes down the road, and have our full production facility there.
We've got some of the cans here. You guys have a good array of beers. You got the Pale Ale, you've got the Scotch Ale, the Little Yellow Pills, 1050. What's kind of do you guys have a flagship? Is there one leader out of the group?
Yeah, Dale's is definitely the flagship. It represents close to 60% of our sales, but we pride ourselves on having a pretty broad, portfolio, different styles, for some pretty aggressive beers on the higher end in terms of ABV, but all really, really well balanced and not anything that over the top.
So would you guys say you're one of the leaders in canning beer as far as the craft beer world?
I would definitely say so. Certainly a pioneer with being the first one to go that route, and then a lot of people have followed since. But yeah, we're pretty proud of the fact that we're canning.
Is everything canned, or do you do some special releases in larger formats, or how does that go?
Everything is canned. We do just recently started doing some larger specialty beers in a package called the Crowler, which is a 32-ounce kind of can / growler.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so that's really the only thing that deviates from our 12-ounce, 16-ounce, and we also have a 19.2-ounce can.
So we got some tweets and some Facebook messages. We put something out there earlier in the week that we're going to be doing this interview. So let's go through some of the questions from the followers on the Facebook and the Twitters and everywhere else. Are there any plans for special rare releases Been drinking blues for a long time, and it seems like the brewery is fairly content with year-round releases, which is cool. But is there a special release, coming down the line that'll blow everything out of the water?
Well, a couple things I would say there. We recently changed up our Gubna recipe, which is an Imperial IPA. It's a 100 IBU, 10% IPA, very, very big beer that we've started changing up the hop recipe every year and doing it just a little bit different. So that's going to be coming online within about a month. In terms of new brands, we're going to be doing a nitro version of our Old Chub, which will soon be available in a 16-ounce can with a widget, which will be, I think, a huge hit.
Cool.
And then we do a lot of specialty beers, very limited release on draft only. We've amazing brewers that can do just about anything. So we do a lot of that, but that's definitely more on the limited basis.
So Minnesota can expect to see some of that stuff, but it'll be mostly on draft.
Sure.
Cool. Let's see here. What took you so long? I mean, you can get into that, but I mean, the secondary question here is, I've heard we're getting limited amounts of 1050. Is that any truth to the rumor, or is that totally made up?
No, we definitely have 1050 in the market. When we decided to roll here, we focused heavily on our packaged beers in the can, obviously, because that's what we're all about. But we were launching with 1050 Draft and the Mama's Draft. 1050 is a seasonal for us. We do it about 6 months, and then we switch over to Gubna. So we're coming to the end of that season, but we do have a decent amount of 1050
That makes
in
a
the
lot of
market.
sense.
Yeah. So it'll be out in liquor stores and bars on tap.
Brian Hayes asks, which is more important, consistency or innovation?
Definitely consistency. We're I'd say our top priority has always been quality and consistency. We work really hard at it. We've got a lab and several people working in each lab in both of our breweries, and we work really hard at it.
Rob Shellman asks, how do you monitor the freshness dates from state to state? As far as the freshness dates in the beer.
You want to address it?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously, something that we're pretty passionate about in the market. Again, to the consistency question on our beer, it's something that we religiously talk to our distributors about. We don't overship beer. It's important to us to not just ship as much beer into a state just to sell beer. It's important to get the freshest beer out there. So we do a really good job, I think, at monitoring what the distributors are bringing in. And I think you'll see it this week. Could we put big displays up on the floor? We definitely could. We're actually holding back on that. So we're going to keep beer turning and keep it as fresh as possible in the market.
Awesome. Glad to have you guys in Minnesota. The more quality beer we can get here, I think the better off we're going to be. So I haven't actually drank a ton of Oskar Blues myself, just because I try to spend my money here in Minnesota instead of going over to Wisconsin. I know Oskar Blues has been doing probably pretty good money out of Hudson and Superior in recent years, just because the Sunday sales thing, everybody runs over there on a Sunday, and if you're going to stock up, might as well stock up on something good and something you can't get at home. So I'm sure the border stores aren't going to be exactly happy about you guys taking a slice of that market, but I think you'll still sell some over there on Sundays until you get that law changed.
Yeah, the rep was pretty disappointed we were over in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, if people want to know about the release parties and the events and what you guys have coming up, they can certainly check out MinnesotaBeerActivist.com. You guys are distributed through the original Gravity Group here in Minnesota, so you can look for news on their Facebook page and Twitter and whatnot. So I know there's stuff at the Nomad, like we said. There's stuff going on at Three Squares, Longfellow. I think there was Groveland Tap either last night or tonight. You guys are hitting the town hard and making it happen.
Yeah.
And so March 3rd, we'll actually launch all of our draft that week.
Okay.
So you'll see a lot of our limited release drafts, all our core packages. We're going to be having a few tap takeovers throughout the market that week of March 3rd.
Cool. And if Twitter users want to follow the local rep Chris Freem on Twitter, I believe it's Oskar Blues MN is his new handle. So you can see what the latest and greatest is going on with him as the brand continues to spread out here in Minnesota. So I don't know, anything we didn't cover you guys want to get to?
I think we got pretty much the important parts.
Cool, awesome, thanks, and welcome to Minnesota, guys.
Yeah,
Cheers.
appreciate it.